Pablo, good to see you. How you doing, brother? How you been? Tor, good to see you. So how you doing? How you been? Good evening. Paul, good to see you. So how you doing? Evening, buddy. How you doing? Joe, good to see you. So how you doing? Evening. Comatose, good to see you. So how you doing? How you been? Okay, we'll do a gist of what we're going to, how you doing, everyone? We're going to do a gist of what we're going to go through on tonight's live show. Obviously, we have one of the biggest debates coming up today, Trump versus Kamala, which is going to be an interesting debate, a very, very interesting debate on what the outcome is going to be, because it's the first time Trump and Kamala come together as rivals. It's going to be a very interesting debate. But we're going to talk about, on tonight's live show, a mixture of topics. Dennis, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Sup, bro? Mimi, good to see you as well. How you doing? Shelly, good to see you as well. Morning. How you doing? Jason, good to see you as well. How you doing? Evening. So let's go through what we're going to talk about on tonight's live show, and then we'll do Shakira, good to see you as well. How you doing? And then we'll do the intro disclaimer. By that time, everyone's tuned in for the first part. So on tonight's live show, we are going to be talking about the employment data regarding confounds analysts and while Fed considers show rate cuts. So while the crypto market is a bit, today especially, is a bit all over the place, we're going to talk about that on what's the bullet points in terms of why is the market reacting this way. We're also going to talk about the macro, essentially, forces pushing Bitcoin and the S&P 500 correlation to a 20-month high. We're also going to talk about tonight's live show regarding State Street. State Street Global Advisors are introducing 3 new ETFs, which we're going to go through on tonight's live show. We're also going to talk about Chris foresees bright prospects for crypto. The venture capitalist Chris has decided to come out and give his perspectives on the matter. We're going to go through his bullet points and his essentially point of view on the market space. We're also going to talk about Tether on tonight's live show as well. Tether and Tron have come together to essentially fight crypto crime. The interesting part about that is Tether is incredibly dodgy, and so is Tron, but they're coming together to fight crypto crime. We're also going to go through the news topic on tonight's live show regarding Sony Bank. So on this live show, I've been updating everybody regarding Sonium, which is a project that's coming out of Sony. And Sony Bank and Sonium to develop a yen-backed stablecoin is what's about to be happening next. So we're going to go through that on tonight's live show as well. We're also going to talk about Gary Gensler on tonight's live show as well. Apparently, a leaked memo has been essentially leaked from Gary Gensler that shouldn't have. So we're going to go through that on tonight's live show as well. We're going to go through John Deaton news on tonight's live show regarding Elizabeth Warren. We're also going to go through the topics of who is interested regarding the debate that's coming up tonight regarding Trump versus Kamala. We're going to go through that on tonight's live show, what could be discussed on the matters of possibilities and what the people want to hear regarding, Trump versus Kamala. We're also going to talk about PayPal on tonight's live show as well, how PayPal and Venmo are embracing Ethereum name service technology. We're also going to go through the news topic on tonight's live show regarding TonChain, how TonChain is introducing a ghost drive for secure Web3 data storage. Reasons why Ton is doing relatively quite well, even though the founder of Telegram is still not able to leave France. We're also going to go through news topics like Standard Chartered Bank launching digital asset custodies in the UAE. We're also going to go through news topics regarding the second US firm, T0, that has just got the green light from the SEC. The SEC has just, for the first time ever, green lighted another crypto platform. So we're also going to go through news regarding Ripple's CTO on tonight's live show as well, how he shares his insights into the XRP Ledger functionalities. So those are the news topics we're going to go through on tonight's live show regarding regarding the XRP ledger, regarding Trump and Kamala, regarding the SEC in terms of the second platform, crypto platform being green lighted, Standard Chartered Bank news regarding the UAE, TON news, PayPal news, Venmo news, Ethereum news. Quite a mixture of news to go from tonight's live show. Also some data points on how the market should be reacting as we move forward and why is it reacting so volatile still till this day. Now, welcome to the CMF live show. If you're watching this for the first time, welcome to the CMF live show. On this live show, I talk about the most recent things that's happening around the world in terms of cryptocurrencies, CBDCs, AI, politics, regulations, vital information for you to know about regarding what's going to be happening as we move forward in this digital world. The disclaimer of this live show, as always, is not financial advice, not political advice, and whatever I say is only for entertainment purposes. So, once again, welcome to the CMF live show. If you're watching this for the first time ever, and if you're a regular, let's go CMF. And thank you so much to everybody that's been retweeting this live show right now on X. I'm getting notifications. Thanks so much to everyone that's been retweeting this live show on X, liking this show on X, and putting a comment down on the video as well, which helps with the algorithm. And thanks so much to everybody on YouTube who's also liking the video as well. Now, the first news topic we are going to go through on tonight's live show is regarding employment data. So the data has just came out. That's why the crypto market is a little bit volatile today. Also, thank you. Also, we do Q&As on this live show as well, which means if you have any questions, put it down in the comment section. This is episode 152 of the CMF live show. Right now, we are live on X and YouTube. So the live show has officially started now. Welcome, everyone. Before we go through the first news, we're going data points on why the market is reacting the way it is today. We're going to go through the comment section first, and then we'll go through the first news. So let's go inside the comment section first. Let's see where we were at. We were at here. Greetings, Miles of CMF. Lena, good to see you. How you doing? Hi, Miles. Give us the lowdown. SKG. Good evening, Miles of CMF. Orphan, good to see you. How you doing? Trump or Kamala? Are you asking me? I'll ask you first, Trump or Kamala. For me, it's going to be, whoever's pro-crypto is, whoever's going to fix the economy is all I care about. The interesting part is when you say to someone, I'm picking someone who's going to fix the economy, everybody always assumes you're picking Trump. And I don't understand how that's a bad thing. He's going to fix the economy. Good evening, Miles. Good evening, Captain Miles and the rest of the XRP crew. Thank you, brother. Good to see you. How you doing? Evening, Miles of CMF. Manny, good to see you. How you doing? Mikhail, good to see you. How you doing? Hi, brother. Kamala, good to see you. How you doing? Thanks for earlier. Much appreciated. No problem. Anytime. Miles, you should have been there standing next to Trump and cussed Goldfish Kamala. Hi, Miles. Is this start of the bull run or the drop again? More of a balanced market situation, Jim. Trump might struggle tonight as he is getting old and she is much younger than him. This should be an interesting debate. Good evening, Miles. How are you? I'm doing great. Callie, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? So let's go for the first news topic on tonight's live show. We'll get to the, Kamala versus Trump because it is happening tonight. And we'll go through the bullet points of many perspectives on that matter, high profile perspectives on where the topic could be steered. Good evening, everybody. JP, good to see you. How you doing? How you been, brother? So, employment data. Employment data essentially confounds analysts while Fed considers slow rate cuts. So the Feds right now are still considering, what type of rate cuts they should be doing regarding the market space, 50 basis points, 75 basis points that could potentially kickstart a recession, which I'm highly doubtful they'll be doing a 75 basis points. 50 basis points also sounds a bit vague. More like 25 basis points makes a lot of sense. So the cryptocurrency markets are experiencing increased volatility triggered by US data, while employment data pressures the Fed into cuts. Some see that there are disparities in the labor force data. Why is the US labor force puzzling? Delving into this confusion might be beneficial. The US labor force data this week, inflation data will be released, less than 24 hours remaining. In the next 24 hours, within 24 hours, we're going to get a new data coming out regarding US labor force data on an indication of are we going to be having rate cuts or not inside the United States. Employment data largely favored risk marketers, prompting essentially Jerome Powell to signal rate cuts in the last month's Jackson Hole speech. Data sources, the Cosby letter addressed the imbalance of the labor force data. After identifying the issue, they listed their reasons and received numerous responses. Here is the brief summary of the points to expect. Response rates to key labor market surveys are at historic lows. The current employment survey, also known as the non-farmer payrolls, dropped from 63% response rate in 2012 to 20% this year. The unemployment rate survey response rate fell from 90% in 2012 to 70% this year. The job opening survey response rating decreased from approximately 65% 12 years ago to 33%. According to this, the BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, now publishes results with fewer responses than in the past. Revising incomplete data, this explains significant downwards, essentially revisions in the recent years. Employment figures until March 2024 were revised down by 818,000 for the 12 months period. Therefore, discrepancies in surveys-based data are essentially understandable, and future revisions might be even more disparate. Nevertheless, the Crosby letter believes something is essentially amiss with the labor force data despite revisions. The Fed rate cuts. If labor force data is lagging and the potential for a downward revision is strong, the Fed's slow pace is easing based on the data could be inherent. Analysts discussing different inflation details have raised these discussions in the recent months. However, recent surveys suggest that economists' expectations for rate cuts are not as strong as assumed. 54 out of 71 economists believe that the Fed is unlikely to cut rate cuts by 50 basis points in any of the 3 remaining meetings this year. 65 out of the 95 economists predict that the Fed will cut rate cuts by 25 basis points 3 times this year. 92 out of 101 economist experts believe that the Fed will cut the rate cuts by 25 basis points to 5% to 5.25%, ranging on September 18th, while 9 foresees a 50 basis rate cut. In summary, if the Fed acts according to market expectations, a delayed risk market rise with slower easing is likely to occur. So within 24 hours, we are going to be having new data coming out. Reasons why the crypto market, there's many reasons why the crypto market is a bit stifled today. One being the Kamala versus Trump debate that's coming up. Some people are expecting some sort of crypto news coming out of it. Trump may be saying something pro-crypto, or Kamala saying something negative about crypto or pro-crypto. You never know how she thinks. But we all know where Trump stands. He stands with crypto. So the crypto markets right now are a bit stifled because of Kamala versus Trump. That's coming up tonight. Also, we're expecting within 24 hours new data coming out. Another reason why the market is also stifled today. Now, the macro forces essentially push Bitcoin S&P 500 correlation to 23-month high. Bitcoin's correlation with the S&P 500 is at its highest in early 2 years, hitting 0.67%, showing how both traditional and crypto markets are getting rocked by economic essentially issues. Now, we do have a lot more issues going on around the world than just the Trump versus Kamala debate or the data coming out within 24 hours. We also have geopolitical tensions, and many other centralized banks think about doing rate cuts. A lot of economies, the real estate market space are not doing too well. There's a lot of things happening around the world while the market's a bit stifled. So BTC dropped 10% after the weak US data drop that came out, but recovered some ground, ending the week down by 3%. Ethereum also struggled, finishing the week with 7% loss, and that was on the previous data that just came out. Within the next 24 hours, we're expecting new data. The S&P 500 and the NASDAQ have had a rough September too. The upcoming CPI reports on the Federal Open Market Committee, the FOMC meeting on September 18th, are likely to impact this growing connection even more. The CME and offshore markets futures premiums on the CME have stayed pretty flat, sticking near the lowest points of this year. The term structure is moderate, and open interest hasn't really moved much this past week. Offshore traders are still leaning bearish, with petroleum funding rates dropping to their lowest since March 2023, raising open interest now at levels where we haven't seen since July. Paired with these negative funding rates, tell us that the market could be setting up for some serious short squeezes. With FTX's bankruptcy, yes, the whole FTX saga hasn't really ended. So with FTX's bankruptcy confirmation hearing coming up in October 7th, repayments between $14.4 billion and $16.6 billion might start as soon as the fourth quarter or the first quarter in 2025. FTX has already converted its crypto assets to dollars, so any leftover sell side pressure is probably gone. Around $8 billion from these repayments is expected to come back into the crypto markets, with an estimated 20 to 40%, or about $1.6 billion to $3.2 billion, likely to be reinvested into crypto. Prep funding rates show market shifts. There are signs of change in the futures funding rates. These rates have gone negative for 7th time since January 2018, which could eventually be a bullish sign. Historically, when the 30-day average funding rates go negative, the market often hits a bottom. After these dips, the average 90-day returns has been impressive, 79%, with a median return of 55%. The current permission is among derivatives traders is something we've only seen 6 times since November 2022. Weekly negative funding rates usually point to more sale orders in future contracts, but every time this kind of selling pressure has appeared before, it's led to local market bottoms, big returns in the following weeks. While this doesn't guarantee that prices won't drop further, the current environment shows that these areas of negative rates might be good entry points for investors looking to buy in. September's drawbacks and key levels. September is always a rough month for both traditional and crypto markets, and this year is no different. In the last 5 years, the S&P 500 has an average drop of 5.21% in September, with the biggest drop being 9.34% back in 2022. Looking at the BTC binary coin days destroyed, CDD metrics, long-term holders were pretty quiet from early August, the first week of September. When the CDD hits a value of 1, it means these holders are starting to move funds, maybe getting ready to sell. However, the other exchange outflow metrics mean MA7, in other words, shows many are actually moving their coins off exchanges, which might ease some of the selling pressures. From a technical standpoint, Bitcoin is expected to trade between $52,000 and $63,000 throughout September. If things go south with the macro environments, prices could fall to $49,000. But if positive catalysts like Donald Trump talking about crypto at tonight's presidential debate come into play, we could see Bitcoin do a little bit better. Miners keep piling up Bitcoin and then dump it on exchanges when they did it, which is exactly what they did back in March, April, and June. They're doing this to protect themselves from price swings, especially since mining rewards are much more lower now. Traders are also taking advantage of arbitrage, buying Bitcoin cheap on one exchange and selling it higher on another exchange. They're using this along with hedging to move the market. When block rewards come in, miners rush to sell their Bitcoin exchanges to secure profits and shield themselves from short-term price drops. So that was a list of things that are happening inside the market space right now. A lot of data points that we just went through, quite fast we went through as well. But regarding the market space in general, to put that as a summary or a conclusion, in terms of Bitcoin, there's a lot of Bitcoin is being held more off exchanges than on exchanges. In terms of ETFs, Bitcoin ETFs, in terms of BlackRock, they haven't bled that much in general. They're actually doing quite good in terms of inflows and outflows. They're balancing each other out. The reasons why the prices are not moving today mostly is because the market is quite balancing itself, but it's also stifled at the same time of this major debate that is tonight. In 24 hours, as I said, we're going to have new data coming in from the labor force data of how the economy is doing inside the United States. And a lot of people would say, how is this relevant? How is US markets relevant to the rest of the world or to the crypto space? Who cares, is what some people would say. But what you need to understand is, as I've said previously, regarding the Bank of International Settlements, when the American markets sneeze, the rest of the markets catch a cold. It's just how it works. It's just how the world functions. The faster you understand that, the better it is. But regarding the data points, it's pretty much all over the place. The Bitcoin mining corporations, yes, they're selling some of their points. In terms of that matter, regarding the Bitcoin mining corporations, they are selling quite a bit of their Bitcoins due to their fees being quite low. And there's not a lot of functionalities on Bitcoin's network. So they tried doing Bitcoin NFTs, which didn't really work out too well. Binance tried promoted Bitcoin NFTs as well. That didn't really work out too well. Binance dropped the whole program. They started doing Bitcoin Lighting Network. That didn't do as good as they thought it was going to do to bring in some money. So the Bitcoin mining corporations have started to sell some of their Bitcoin, but they're not doing it in terms of cashing out. They're doing it to grow their operations, which is also good. So they're putting money back into Bitcoin, if you think about it. Yes, they're selling their Bitcoin rewards, but at the same time, they're buying more Bitcoin equipment to expand their operations. So it's basically loopholing the money back into them. But regarding the market stifleness situation that's going on, the debate tonight, 24 hours, we're going to have new data coming in. Quite a lot of things are happening within 24 hours. Now, State Street. State Street Global Advisors introduced three new NFTs. Sorry, three new ETFs, NFTs. Three new ETFs is what we're going to go through next. Before we go through that, let's go inside the comment section first. By the way, this is a live show, so if you do have any questions, put it down inside the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. Let's see where we were inside the comment section. We were at here. Messi, good to see you. How you doing? When will we see $10 XRP? Consider available change. Hi there, Miles and family. Troy, good to see you. How you doing? Miles, would you say 100K ACH will be a good amount? Hi, all on YouTube. Let's go, JP. Hey, brother, can you dance like... Okay, I mean, just... Okay, if you want to be a moron, go and be a moron somewhere else. When will the rate cuts cause what? When will the rate cuts cause a crypto surge? Not anytime soon, unless we get actually good data coming out. Hi, Miles. In terms of rate cuts, hi, Miles. All in CMF. Hope everyone's well tonight. Adi, good to see you. How you doing? Good evening, Miles. On the Crypto Guru. Let's go. I am the Rebel. How you doing? Hi, Miles of CMF. George, good to see you. How you doing? Good evening, Miles of CMF. Mike, good to see you. How you doing? Happy Pisces, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? Hi, Miles of CMF. Missed. Let's go, Stormy. How you doing? How you been? So, State Street. State Street Global Advisors introduced three new ETFs. I was about to say NFTs again. Three new ETFs. State Street Global Advisors has announced the launch of three new exchange-traded funds, focused on digital assets and a disruptive technology that it has created, managed by Galaxy. So for the first time ever, they're not introducing Bitcoin ETFs or Ethereum ETFs. However, it is crypto-related ETFs because crypto companies are now getting ETFs. So managed by Galaxy Asset Management, a subsidiary of Galaxy Digital Holdings. These funds aim to provide investors with diverse opportunities in their evolving digital markets. The introduction of new ETFs. The new funds are named SPDR, Galaxy Digital Asset Ecosystem ETF, or DECO is the next one, or SPDR, Galaxy Digital Asset Ecosystem ETF, EHECO, and SPDR Galaxy Transformative Technologies Accelerators ETF, TEKX, is designed to offer exposure to companies benefiting from blockchain and digital asset industries, including cryptocurrencies. What is the volatility management? The ECO, similar to DECO, aims to provide exposure to digital assets, but incorporates strategies such as covered to call options and proactive put options to manage volatility. This approach is initiated to offer a safer investment alternative in a digital asset market space. So in terms of, think of it as Binance introducing an ETF as a Binance ETF is what Galaxy Digital has done. How do the disruptive technologies fit inside the market space? The TEKX focuses on companies that support emerging disruptive technologies like blockchain and artificial intelligence, AI. According to Anna, the Chief Investment Officer of State Street Global Advisors, digital assets and blockchain technology hold transformative potential for financial markets and the broader economy over the next decade. Concentrate conclusion. Key takeaways from the launch of these three new ETFs coming out of State Street Global, which is massive news, by the way, of State Street Global doing this. The three new ETFs, DECO offers exposure to blockchain and digital asset industries. HECO provides similar exposure with added volatility management. And TEXO targets companies supporting disruptive technologies. State Street manages $4.128 trillion in assets, including $1.27 trillion in ETFs. The newly introduced ETFs aims to give the investors a broader access to the digital asset market, utilizing diversification and volatility management strategies to attract a wider range of investors. This initiative underscores the sufficient impact digital assets in terms of disruptive market space and technologies could have on the financial market space. So this is actually quite good of what State Street has introduced. It's quite of a big move from State Street because we've only seen so far in terms of ETFs, Bitcoin ETFs or Ethereum ETFs inside the United States. And then when you go outside the United States, we do have Solana ETFs, for example, in Brazil. But that's around about it. And then the rest of the world is pretty much either Bitcoin ETFs or Ethereum ETFs. So this is the first time that we're getting three ETFs coming out of State Street, which is massive. in terms of what assets they have. I mean, 4.1 trillion dollars on the assets under management. This is what they have, and now they're releasing 3 ETFs, which one of the ETFs is involved in the blockchain industry. One of the ETFs is for the AI industry, and the other ETF is for volatility management in terms of what projects they're going to be investing into. This is just showing that Wall Street is showing a lot more confidence to the blockchain sector than it ever was before, because Bitcoin ETFs were quite big for Wall Street. Ethereum ETFs were quite big for Wall Street as well. But now ETFs for crypto platforms and crypto companies, that's a new move. And it's showing that they have confidence inside the crypto space for them to be able to pull this move off. Now, we're going to talk about venture capitalist Chris and his perspective on the market space. So, Chris foresees a bright prospects for crypto. Venture capitalist Chris Bernstein dismisses the current negative sentiments, essentially evolving around the crypto markets. I just want to point out one thing of what Chris has said before I go into what he's actually said. So a few nights ago on this live show, I said that somebody asked me a question. Somebody asked me a question and said, you know, this bear market we're in, when we're going to get out of the bear market? And I said, we're not in a bear market. We're in a manipulated market. There's a very big difference. I said, if we're in a bear market, you'll be able to tell because we'll have drastic price changes. Not the price, the price lows that we have now, but drastic ones. I said, we're not in a bear market. We're in a manipulated market. We have geopolitical tensions going on of wars, that are still going on, and new wars could be spraying out. We have a real estate market issue going on in France, for example, or in China. We also have essentially countries getting sanctioned. We have crypto companies, CEOs getting indicted or wells noticed, or essentially getting arrested in different countries. There are so many issues happening right now in the market space, in the entire globe, that we're not in a bear market. We're in a manipulated market. There's a big difference between a bear market and a manipulated market. A bear market is something that happens within cycles. A manipulated market hits you at every angle, with a geopolitical tension of a war scenario happening or a continuous war happening. Markets in terms of real estate markets just bursting the bubble. France's real estate market is doing incredibly bad. China's market space in terms of real estate is doing incredibly bad. They're just not showing it on the news. But according to data, they're both about to burst that bubble. And then you have rate cuts happening at the same time, where the US could be doing some extensive rate cuts that could cause a massive downtrend because a bubble will burst over there as well. And then we have Japan's market issues going on. And then we have the UK thinking about doing rate cuts. Canada's about to do second rate cuts. The EU is about to do new rate cuts. We don't have much of a regulations going on. Too many crypto companies are getting sued. Freedom of speech is pretty much on the line. We have founders getting arrested in France when he's not allowed to leave the country. So there's a big difference to a bear market that happens within cycles than a manipulated market. And that's what I said. I said we're in a manipulated market, not a bear market. And I said this a few nights ago. Now, I don't know who Chris Bernstein, the venture capitalist, is. However, I said what I said a few nights ago, and I was repeated. My words were repeated by Chris. Chris doesn't know who I am, and I don't know who Chris is. But the same words I used was used by Chris. So venture capitalist Chris Bernstein dismisses the current negative sentiments, eloping essentially around the crypto markets as baseless. Speaking to his many followers on social media platform X, Chris Bernstein asserts that both market techniques and fundamentals hit the forthcoming essentially in the rise of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. He adds that recent price stagnation overshadows the substantial progress being made by various crypto projects behind the scenes. Signs of strength. Chris Bernstein highlights that Bitcoin and Ethereum are currently in a consolidation phase, during which blockchain technologies continue to weave them essentially themselves into a social fabric. Although this integration is not happening overnight, Chris Bernstein remains optimistic about the long-term outlook. His contrasts current sentiments with that the first quarter, noting that while the mood has reversed, infrastructure is maturing and application trials are diversifying, which is true. As I've said previously, we have a lot more regulation still in 2024 than we ever did before, more banks and more institutions, which also adds to the manipulation. But it also brings in a lot more money. Our narratives are misleading. Addressing claims that the crypto bull market is over, Chris Bernstein dismisses these negatives as exaggerated. He points out that digital assets have historically withstood negative media coverage and are likely to do so again. He argues that each market cycle sees individuals and abandoning their focus and beliefs, a cycle he believes will repeat, which is a lot of people getting frustrated about the crypto markets and leaving the space. This pretty much happens every single time. Concrete observation. Current market value of the crypto market is at $2.097 trillion. Chris Bernskey's vision of a future market value of $10 trillion for crypto assets. Progress in crypto projects is gradual but holds significant future potential. In summary, Chris Bernskey asserts that the negative sentiments currently dominating the crypto market is unwarranted, stressing that both fundamental and technical indicators remain positive. The ongoing integration of blockchain technology and the maturation of various crypto projects suggests substantial growth. Chris Bernskey urges patience and sustained focus, confident that the crypto markets will ultimately flourish. In what? Utility. Which is also exactly pretty much what I said regarding Chris saying that we're not in a bear market, we're just in a very manipulated scenario. Regarding that the markets, in terms of people getting frustrated, this is what happens every single time. Some people get frustrated and leave the market space, which is what I've said also regarding the last stage. I said everybody inside the crypto space or any sort of market space will experience these stages. Everybody's experienced them. Your first experience with the crypto markets will be, I don't know what I'm doing. Your second experience with the crypto market will be, should I sell, should I buy? Your third experience with the crypto market is going to be, should I go for this new project? Your fourth experience is going to be, I just got scammed. Your fifth experience is going to be, and so on and so on. But your last experience inside the crypto market space, you get the point. The last experience inside the cryptocurrency space market is going to be frustration, where you're going to be frustrated on the projects you're holding, even though the projects that you're holding have immense amount of potential due to the contracts in place, due to the regulations falling in place, due to it being utilized by major establishments because of those developments of years behind the scenes. Those contracts and PDF documentations there to prove it. But you're going to go through a stage of frustration, which makes you want to sell your projects, which will be the biggest mistake of your life. Obviously not financial advice in any sort of a way. But yes, frustration is always going to be the last step that catches a lot of people out, right before things get better. Now, moving on from Chris's perspective on the market space, which matched my perspective a few nights ago I shared, we're going to go on to Tether news, Tether and Tron. So Tether and Tron have come together to combat crime inside the crypto space. The interesting part about this is that Tether is an extremely dodgy stablecoin. They've never shown transparency. They've always had other people vouch for them that they do have transparency going on. And the reason why they'll never get listed in the EU to be used, for years to come is because they have to hold 60% of their assets in EU banks. And Tether doesn't want to do that, maybe because they can't show transparency because they don't have what they're printing and backing. And a lot of people don't know this, that Tether did once pay a fine a very long time ago for actually not having backings for their stablecoin. But Tether, extremely dodgy stablecoin, and Tron, extremely dodgy CEO, have come together. Two most extremely dodgy people inside the crypto space have come together to combat crime. I don't know if they're going to start with their own projects, but it seems like they're going to be starting other people's projects. Tron and Tether and TRM Labs joined forces and established a T3 financial crime unit. This initiative seeks to bolster public and private cooperation in combating financial crime in the crypto space. So USDT plays a vital role in the crypto economy because of its massive $117 billion market cap. The Tron blockchain essentially derives over 50% of its supply from USDT. Moreover, USDT's low fees and ease of use have made it popular among legitimate users. It also attracted the attention of malicious actors. More and more people are using Tron blockchain, which means there's a higher chance of bad things happening, like people trying to hide stolen money or defraud others. To fight these problems, T3 FCUs, what they're calling themselves, aims to safeguard Tron's networks by identifying and preventing criminals' use of USDT with continuous intelligence in tracking illegal transactions and support for criminal investigations. TRM Labs will play a vital role in this matter, public and private collaboration to ensure security. This relationship between Tether and Tron and TRM Labs emphasizes the growing power of public and private collaborations in combating financial crime within the cryptocurrency industry. More so to the assist of law enforcement in fighting threats such as illicit activities, illicit transactions, sanction invasions, and cybercrime, TRM Labs will leverage its house technologies and global networks of experts to track down criminals. Lastly, Tron's founder, Justin Sun, said that he's working together with TRM Labs and Tether and will make sure the blockchain technology is used for good things only. Tether's CEO also promised that they'll keep working hard to keep digital money safe and trustworthy. Yeah, Tether has been trying their best to seem as legitimate as possible. And there's nothing wrong with USDT. While there are many issues wrong with USDT, one still being transparency, which until this day, we don't know what's backing Tether. Tether claims they have the money to back Tether for every single penny, but we've never seen it. Nobody's ever seen it. They're very private on that matter. Now, but it's interesting to see Tether, coming with Tron, Justin Sun, the same man that the US was probably investigating for a while. For a while now, Justin Sun has been investigated by the US. Tether apparently has been investigated multiple times by the US, but Justin Sun and Tether decided to fight and combat crime inside the crypto space while they're both committing crime on the sidelines. How ironic is that? Now, we're going to be moving on from the Tether news to Sony. On this live show, I've been keeping people updated regarding Sony's movements. Sony decided to create their own blockchain. They invested into another company to build their own blockchain. It was based on Ethereum chain and a few other chains as well, and it's called Sonium. So I've kept people updated on the steps that Sony has taken. So I have some new updates on Sonium. It's not released yet, but here's an update. Sony Bank and Sonium to develop a yen-backed stablecoin. Sony Bank, the financial division of the tech giant Sony Group Corporation, has partnered with Sonium, a layer 2 Ethereum blockchain, to investigate the potential of developing a stablecoin tied to the Japanese yen. In a press time statement, Sony Bank announced its commitment to conducting extensive experiments to ensure the project aligns with Japan's legal regulations. So Sony is about to be creating essentially the first ever stablecoin for the Japanese yen. Essence of yen-backed stablecoin project. The financial institutions mentioned that the main goal of this initiative is to optimize blockchain technology to reduce transaction fees and enhance payment processing. It also aims to address the high transaction costs that are persistent in traditional financial systems. Notably, Justin Sun, the founder of Tron Blockchain, plans to address this challenge by introducing a stablecoin that allows a gas-free transfers on the Tron blockchain. If successful, this project could pave the way for increased adoption of digital assets within Japan's banking sector. In addition, it could motivate various Web3 providers to invest in improving Japan's digital market space, especially considering the US dollar's prevailing dominance. Sony's move to revolutionize digital landscape. The upcoming stablecoin project is not Sony's initiative foray into Web3. The financial institution has delved into projects like the Sonium blockchain project and is exploring NFT integrations in gamings, amongst other initiatives. These scalable solutions aims to bring together developers, creators, communities, and end-to-end users. Sony is somewhere down the line going to essentially connect Sonium to PlayStation. So Sonium seems to be going on the path of gaming and creators and developers and communities, which could give the essence of Sonium sooner or later is going to be a part of PlayStation Network, which not a bad thing. It's going to be massive. I mean, gaming is a humongous industry, so not a bad thing. Above all, Sony's proactive efforts as essentially positions itself as a forefront in revolutionizing the ever-evolving digital landscape in Japan. Generally, Sony Group leverages essentially hardware, software, and content to propel the advancements of technology and entertainment into the future. Japan actively promotes Web3 adoption. Asian countries have been actively pushing for the adoption of Web3 technologies. The country's Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry has been supporting investments in Web3 startups, showcasing a strong commitment to embracing Web3 potentials. Recently, Japan's Financial Services Agency, FSA revealed plans to implement lower crypto tax by 2025. The crypto sector in Japan is experiencing significant growth with companies like Metaplanet, Astro Network. Astro Network was the company that helped Sony build their Sonium, and SBI Trade VC flourishing due to the favorable regulatory environments and increased mindfulness towards cryptocurrencies. It is true, Japan is lowering their crypto taxes to compete with countries like Singapore, Hong Kong, and the UAE, for example, because Japan realized they're losing quite a lot of crypto and Web3 blockchain talent to these particular Middle Eastern countries or Asian countries. So they decided to compete on the tax legislations, which good on them for doing that. But regarding Sonium, they're about to be releasing their own stablecoin as well, but they've just now, shown us which path they're going towards. Sonium is going to be on the path of gaming developers, essentially gaming creators, communities, and developers. Which, again, if you're inside the gaming sector, if you love the gaming sector inside the crypto space, Sonium could be the next project for you. It is built by Sony alongside another company, so big, very big. But also Samsung, as I revealed on this live show as well a few nights ago, Samsung is also going to be building their own blockchain, just like Sony did with Sonium. And Samsung is using the exact same company Sony used to build their blockchain as well. So there's something that some of you might not know, but now you know. Now, the next news we're going to go through on tonight's live show is something that isn't confirmed, but I'll share it in case it does get confirmed. But before we go through it, let's go inside the comment section first. Let's go inside the comment section. Let's see where we were. By the way, this again, it is a live show. If you do have any questions, put it down inside the comment section, type away. I did put him on timeout. Apologies, Miles. Thank you, Shelly. And what up, Miles and family? Really good to see you as well. How you doing? I tried to kick him up. So many abbreviations and acronyms in crypto. Lol. I remember when I first started following you, Miles, on TT. I was like, what does that mean? I've learned a lot since then. Let's go, Shelly. But yeah, genuinely, there is a lot of acronyms and abbreviations in crypto, definitely. In stock market in general. What's up, Miles and CMF? Bill, good to see you as well. How you doing? Any XRP news? Yes, we do at the end of the live show. Shelly, maybe you can lose my money and my mind. The US real estate 2008. Yep. And that has to be the first time someone repeats what you said. Has to be the first time someone repeats what you said. Yes, definitely the first time. Is Miles talking about me frustrating? No, definitely not. Frustrating is for everyone in general. A lot of people get frustrated inside the crypto space, which, I've always said, enter the crypto markets or any sort of market space with zero emotions. It's easier said than done. Regarding if I tell someone enter the market space with zero emotions, a lot of people will say, yes, I'm entering with zero emotions, but it's easier said than done. I have a feeling that all this crypto we are invested in, they are going to create another token for institutions, only drive up the price to the moon and dump these cryptos we invested into the ground. Chozone. So Chozone said, I have a feeling that all these cryptos we've invested in, they're going to create another token for institutions only and drive price to the moon and then dump these cryptos we've invested to the ground. It's an interesting perspective you have chosen on that matter. But I would have to say you're wrong. And I'll back it with one simple thing. PDFs. You see, contracts don't lie. Contracts are abiding by law. Yes, this world is very manipulated. Yes, this world does provide a lot of misinformation. Yes, they do manipulate everything you do, but you can still get sued. So with all the contracts in place and documentations in place, they're not going to be using anything else. For example, JP Morgan using Ethereum to build their on-exchange for private use only, they're not going to be dropping Ethereum anytime soon and creating an entire new blockchain, spending hundreds of millions of dollars on research purposes, or using AVAX as a side chain essentially for subnet green for carbon footprints. They're not going to be dropping that and spending another $100 million to create another entire platform. Or the XRP ledger essentially being utilized by SPI Ventures, for example. They're not going to be dropping that, spending hundreds of millions of dollars again to restart from scratch. So on the point of we're investing into all these crypto projects and the institutions at the end of the day will just create something else. No. Very simple. No. The institutions are going to be using exactly what we're using. Do you know how I know this? Because the contracts are there to prove what I'm saying. So I don't know, Chosen, who's feeding you information, BS information, regarding the institutions are going to be creating their own tokens, and the ones that we're holding, all of it is useless. I don't know who's feeding you this information. I don't know why you have this thought even in your head, because it's not correct in any sort of a way. You know, all this time you've been with me inside of CMF, you haven't understood until now that documentations, PDFs, contracts, they're all abiding by law. So the answer is no. I don't know, Chosen, why you're thinking like that. I don't know who's feeding you that information for you to be thinking like that. But preferably, I would say stay away from the person that's feeding you BS information on the crypto markets and stick to the facts. My number one thing I've always said to everybody is everybody in this world is entitled to an opinion, but opinions are not correct and facts are facts. Contracts are facts. Data is facts. Documentations in general for developments that are going on is facts. A documentation from the Bank of International Settlements is facts. It's factual information. It was data. Or International Monetary Fund, that's factual information. Or PDF documentation of a contract from JP Morgan on developments is factual information. It's data. So that's not an opinion. That exists on paper. So Chosen, whoever's feeding you this BS information, my point of view would be stay away from that person, because it's going to corrupt your mind into thinking some useless things. Don't do that to yourself. I've always said everybody's entitled to an opinion, but opinions are not correct and facts are facts. Stick to the facts. That was my first basic point. So, Chosen, you need to change your thought process. Otherwise, you'll get left behind. And I don't want you to get left behind. Now, answer is no. Basically, I think there is more behind what he's trying to say. If he is the real person, yeah. I came to realize that I have zero emotions when investing in crypto, but I have 100% emotions when trading crypto. Because when I see all this manipulation from institutions and governments, you can think of anything. Okay. Starting to understand why you had this thought. So because when you see all of this manipulation from institutions and governments, you think anything can possibly happen. Okay, regarding manipulation from governments and institutions, it's just something that happens 24/7 on a daily basis. Now there's manipulation and essentially corruption, but then there's exaggeration. There's a big difference to manipulation and corruption than exaggeration. So manipulation and corruption is something that happens 24/7 in the corporate space, in the political space, but it's just something that you might have not caught up on until you maybe entered the crypto space and you started realizing, wow, this world is very manipulated on how the regulations and policies and suings and so on works. But there's a big difference between manipulation, corruption, and exaggeration. Contracts are there, and I said this very long time ago. Very simple thing I said a very long time ago is that in 2023, I said, going into 2024, we're going to have more directors, more CEOs, more directors, more CEOs, more institutions, more banks, and more regulations, so on, which expect a lot more manipulation, but expect a lot more money as well. But the contracts are there in any sense. So don't worry, is what I would say. But don't confuse manipulation with exaggeration. I'm all in crypto. I'm not going to give up because that's the only way for me to become financially free. Perfect. That mindset, the sentence you just put out when you said, I'm all in crypto, I'm not going to give up because that's the only way for me to become financially free. Perfect mindset to have. Stick with that mindset and stay away from your other thoughts regarding manipulation, exaggeration. Stay away from those thoughts. Stick with the mindset of you stating, I'm all in crypto, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up, keywords here, because that's the only way to become financially free. Perfect mindset to have. Stick with that thought. Get rid of the rest of the thoughts. Now, that is the part of the process manipulation. Yeah. Now, Gensler's leaked memo raises crypto and stock crisis fears. So something got leaked, apparently, from the SEC. Now, I'm going to share you this news until it gets confirmed. But I just want to share it to you, and we'll wait for the confirmation on this news. If it genuinely was leaked or it's just a document that somebody fabricated. So a leaked memo from the US Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has raised concerns about a potential crisis in the cryptocurrency and US stock markets. The memo, mistakenly uploaded online by the SEC, contains a draft of Chairman Gary Gensler's planned speech. According to Can everybody see me? Can everybody see? Okay, I'm back. So you know how I said the document might not be real? Maybe it is real, because why did I just go, the screen just go black for a second? Okay, never mind. So as I was saying before we got into a blank screen, so the memo was mistakenly uploaded. Online by the SEC, and it contains a draft of Chairman Gary Gensler's planned speech. According to the document reveals that the SEC was advised to downplay the possibility of an imminent crisis in Gary Gensler's speech. So apparently Gary Gensler's speech that was leaked, it had something on the lines of, we're going to have a major crash. We're going to have a major crash is what Gary Gensler's speech was related to. However, Gary Gensler apparently was told to downplay this speech and to, mellow things out and not say we're going to have some imminent crash scenario happening. The memo suggests that Gary Gensler, who has experience as a regulator and in capital markets, was set to address market strategies and their efficiencies. However, an internal recommendation urged him to clarify that his speech should not be interpreted as indicating an immediate crisis. Apparently, Gary Gensler was about to warn everybody. Of some sort of an imminent major crash scenario happening inside of market spaces. And this was stopped. It was uploaded, leaked, and then stopped. The recommendation has led to speculations that the market may face more significant turmoil than previously acknowledged. The US stock market has recently shown signs of recessions, which, combined with the leaked memo, has intensified concerns about the current state of financial markets. Yes, the US has talked about recessions for quite a while now. Gensler, who has been criticized by the crypto community and faces potential essential restructuring at the SEC, has been a strong advocate for market safety. His leadership, including the conventional regarding Ripple lawsuit and its $125 million penalty, has been on a point of situation. Furthermore, if Donald Trump wins the upcoming election, he has expressed plans to remove Gary Gensler from his position. For now, the SEC has redacted the leaked document from its website. They've removed the leaked document from their website, leaving many questions unanswered about the regulator's stance on the market stability. So apparently Gary Gensler was a leaked document came out of him. Now, I can't confirm this news in any sort of a way unless I get my hands on that leaked document. It was removed from the website before I can even get access to that document from the SEC website, if it was ever there. But I wanted to share that news just in case. And I did say at the beginning, I haven't confirmed this news in any sort of a way, but I wanted to share it with you if there was genuinely leaked document on the matter of Gary Gensler trying to warn everybody about an imminent crash. But I can't prove it at all. unless somehow I get my hands on that leaked document. But I wanted to share that either way, just in case the leaked document gets leaked all over social media, and then you could say, well, now I know. You would understand instantly. So if you ever see that leaked document on social media inside the crypto space, you would instantly know what that document is now, if it ever does get leaked again. Can you share the memo in the CMF, please? Once I get my hands on it, I definitely will. That was Gary Gensler who cut the show. I'm actually surprised you're going to say Miles is being hacked. You're back. Let's go. Before he was because, Okay, so moving on from the leaked documentation regarding Gary Gensler to John Deaton news and Elizabeth Warren news. John Deaton criticizes Senator Elizabeth Warren over anti-crypto stance and highlights the banking sector issue. John Deaton, an attorney for XRP, has essentially stepped up his criticism of Senator Elizabeth Warren for essentially her unfavorable views of cryptocurrency sector. John Deaton, who recently emerged victorious in Massachusetts Republican primary, has defended cryptocurrencies in an interview with WBUR while pointing out issues with the conventional banking industry. Notably, he voiced concerns over Elizabeth Warren's continued attacks on cryptocurrencies, especially the way she categorizes digital assets as an instrument of criminal activity. Cryptocurrencies versus the banking sector. John Deaton refuted Elizabeth Warren's assertion that the majority use of cryptocurrencies are illicit by citing statistical essentially evidence. Less than 1% of cryptocurrency transactions are linked to illegal activities, according to the data he cited from the UN Office on Drugs and Crimes, which is factual. Elizabeth Warren, till this day, will still claim, Senator Elizabeth Warren, till this day, she will still claim that about 60 to 70% of the crypto space is illicit activities, which is absolute nonsense, complete nonsense, because one thing she doesn't understand, and her peanut brain, is that the crypto space is public. It's a public blockchain, so which means we can tell where transactions are being moved to. And, she is pretty useless and shares the exact same brain cells as a goldfish, not realizing it's a public chain. But the Wall Street Journal once did an article regarding crypto space and how the crypto space is about 70% just criminal activities. And Elizabeth Warren used that Wall Street Journal article in Congress. She said, look, crypto space, illicit activities, 70% illicit activity transactions, and chain analysis. So we do have crypto firms inside the crypto space who check essentially transactions to see what's happening inside the crypto space. So Arkham Intelligence is one of those companies. Or for example, chain analysis. So chain analysis contacted the Wall Street Journal and provided them data, which made the Wall Street Journal change the article title and edit the entire article, and not put 70% to put 1% instead. However, Elizabeth Warren still uses the old article to prove her point, but not the new article from the Wall Street Journal that actually has the correct data inside of it. This is how much of a manipulated politician she is. She won't use the correct data because the correct data, she can't get her point across. But with the manipulated data, she can get her point across. This is how much of a corrupt politician she is, just a point of view. So regarding John Deaton, essentially using evidence and factual information that less than 1% of cryptocurrency transactions are actually linked to illegal activities, according to data cited from the UN Office of Drugs and Crime. On the other hand, traditional banking are responsible for enabling money laundering, totaling billions of dollars every year, which is factual. There are more money being essentially laundered through dollars than there ever was inside the crypto space. So does that mean we should ban dollar? Her argument is ridiculous. Totaling billions of dollars every year. Rather than focusing on cryptocurrencies, John Deaton claimed that major corporations like HSBC Bank, which by the way is incredibly corrupt bank, and JP Morgan, incredibly corrupt, Bank of America and Wells Fargo play a major role in the financial crime. John Deaton contended that Elizabeth Warren, has discarded this stark contrast in her remarks and actions in public. The reason why Elizabeth Warren will never go against the banking system is because the banking systems are behind her, and she's behind the banking system, not behind crypto. John Deaton's advocacy for crypto regulations. Furthermore, John Deaton emphasized her endeavors to provide regulatory essential literacy to the cryptocurrency sector. Drawing comparisons with Warren's contributions to the Senate Banking Committee, he remained at the public of his involvements in the lawsuit against the SEC and his pro bono legal representations of 75,000 individual token holders. Additionally, John Deaton highlighted that he compared Elizabeth Warren, who is a senator. He has done more as a private citizen to make financial regulations for cryptocurrencies assets clearer than a senator has done. In addition, he brought up conflicts of interest at the SEC, which he said were impending in the industry's expansion. Political impact on crypto regulations. Notably, one of the main topics of discussions for the next election will be the political environment surrounding cryptocurrency regulations. John Deaton's position is to do crypto-friendly policies. If he were to win the election, Senator Elizabeth Warren's criticism of crypto billionaires inconsistent with her fervent support of established financial institutions. According to John Deaton, Elizabeth Warren's stance benefits large banks at expenses of the developing cryptocurrency sector. Elizabeth Warren's strategy has drawn criticism from over known figures in the cryptocurrency industry, including Anthony and Mark Cuban. Some have accused Elizabeth Warren of being hypocritical in her views regarding financial regulation, which is factual, absolutely factual, regarding Elizabeth Warren being an absolute waste of space. Facts. Elizabeth Warren, I can say that, in a wholehearted, Elizabeth Warren is an absolute waste of space. She is an extremely corrupt politician, She uses fake misinformation to get her point across. She stifles innovation for the United States. She's done absolutely nothing since the day she became a senator until now. So yes, 100% she is corrupt head to toe. And it baffles me how far she's came so far, from day one of entering the Senate until now. And who the hell is keep on voting for Senator Elizabeth Warren is what I'm confused about. Because she's provided nothing to the people. She's incredibly corrupt. She does under-the-table dealings. She tells SEC Gary Gensler, chairman, what to say and how to answer questions when he's doing a debate. She manipulates answers and questions, in other words. She manipulates news articles for her own interest to get her point across. She's corrupt head to toe, so who the hell is keep on voting for her is confusing. Now, moving on from John Deaton and Elizabeth Warren news to Trump versus Kamala, which is happening tonight at 2 a.m. UK time is happening. And so in about an hour and a half. But we'll discuss what's the possible questions, how this can go, and so on. Will we know? Let me see where I was first, actually. Can you share the memo in the CMF? I will send you a screen grab. Miles, do you know something Revolut going to open up a bank in the UK? Yes, Revolut is going to be opening up a bank in the UK. That is correct. They sent out emails to everyone. Where can we watch the debate? Most likely it's going to be posted on X. Well, we all know he was back. Let's face it. You can't tell me you guys weren't sitting in the background doing the same law. I was just trying to save time. Okay, 6%. Apparently. 6%. Elizabeth Warren knows how to voodoo magic. 6% want to hear Kamala Harris and Trump talk about crypto at the debate only. So it turns out, according to Bazinga's data, now Bazinga is a massive news corporation company. According to their data and relevant to the stock market and Wall Street, according to their data, only 6% of the population inside the United States want them to talk about crypto. So the Democratic nominee Kamala Harris and Republican Donald Trump are scheduled to face off each other inside the United States presidential debate tonight. And according to a recent poll, not many people expect the two candidates to discuss digital assets. According to a survey conducted by Bazinga, between September 9th and essentially between September 9th until now, 133 adults, only 6% were most interested in hearing either Vice President Kamala Harris or Trump talk about cryptocurrencies. Roughly 45% of people said they preferred to listen to the presidential candidates discuss the economy and jobs, which is understandable. The number one topic to be discussed at a presidential candidate as a presidential debate is the economy. it's very given. Number one thing is going to be talking about the economy and jobs, which is very understandable. With 24% suggesting immigration to be a topic, which is also very understandable because the US has a big immigration problem. Very understandable. The first and possibly only US presidential candidate in 2024, scheduled for 9 p.m. Eastern Time, ABC News, will occur 56 days before the election day and 6 days before in-person early voting begins in Pennsylvania. Trump has claimed to be a Bitcoin and a crypto advocate as a part of his 2024 campaign, while Vice President Kamala Harris has largely been silent about her position on digital asset policies. It's unclear whether the ABC moderators Lindsay, Davis, and David intend to ask the candidates about crypto or blockchain, or whether either Harris or Trump could bring up the issue themselves. Knowing Trump, he might bring up the issue. The advocacy group Chamber of Progress sent a letter to Davis on September 5th asking them to give voters an opportunity to know whether the nominees stand on crypto before they head to the ballot box on November. So apparently ABC has received letters from crypto advocates that one or two questions should be about blockchain innovation inside the United States, which it should be, because it's not a small topic, it's a humongous topic, blockchain technology. And it should have at least one question on that panel of where does the United States, the biggest market in the world, stand on blockchain innovation, which is a huge deal. Every country is inside of blockchain technology except the United States. So at least one possible question could be in there. Different approaches to crypto. Vice President Kamala Harris, Goldfish Kamala or Useless Kamala, who launched her campaign on July 21st after the US President Joe Biden said that he would not seek re-election. He has released his details about her planned policies if elected in 2024. The platform included prioritizing innovation in the economy and ensuring that America, not China, remained a leader in initiative industries, but did not explicitly mention cryptocurrencies, which is true. Kamala Harris released some sort of a campaign talking about, she's going to be bringing innovation inside the United States, but nothing relatable to blockchain technology or AI technology. And she said that the United States will stay ahead of China. How are you planning on staying ahead of China when even China has just started to pass some regulations for cryptocurrencies? China's well into CBDCs, which is not great, but well into CBDCs. They're into social credit systems. They're into AI technology. They have massive developments coming out of Hong Kong because China doesn't want to do it inside China, so they use the province of Hong Kong to do it through. But while in office from 2017 to 2021, Trump reportedly told his Treasury Secretary to go after Bitcoin at a regulatory level. After leaving the White House, he referred to the cryptocurrency as a scam and based on thin air. Only after announcing his re-election run in 2022 did the Republican candidate adapt essentially a policy platform focused on supporting Bitcoin miners, opposing central bank digital currencies, and releasing his own line of non-fungible tokens. Before President Biden dropped out of the race, many crypto advocates hoped to see Trump or the Democratic candidates mention crypto at their June 27th debate. Since the creation of cryptocurrencies, no US presidential candidate has ever mentioned digital assets on a debate stage. As of September 10th, many polls show Harris neck and neck with Trump nationwide, with crucial battlegrounds states essentially leaning either Republican or Democratic. Money from crypto-funded political action committees may also influence the outcomes of several congressional races in 2024, which could impact control of the US House of Representatives and the Senate. Apparently, Trump and Kamala are neck and neck in terms of people voting for them. So, in other words, Trump and Kamala are pretty much neck and neck. So it could go either way, apparently, according to the data. Now, what do analysts expect from the crypto? What do analysts expect for cryptocurrencies in today's big Trump and Harris debate? So uncertainty surrounding tonight's debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris is causing volatility in both the US stock and crypto markets, which is factual. The reason why the crypto markets today and the stock market is a bit stifled, they're not going anywhere, is because this massive debate that's going on today, but also we have massive data coming out within 24 hours on the US labor force as well. While the overall cryptocurrency market cap has seen a modest gain of 1.9% in the past 24 hours, major cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum remain under pressure with weekly declines of 3% and 6% respectively. The impact of debate is also being felt in traditional markets. The US stock market were volatile in early tradings, with S&P 500 giving up some of their early week gains and falling essentially 0.42%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average lost slightly more, down 0.5% or about 200 points. The QCP Capital analyst noted that uncertainty in stocks has also been reflected in the crypto markets, with correlation between cryptocurrencies and the global stocks reaching the highest points in nearly 2 years. Macroeconomics uncertainty currently dominates the crypto markets with a 30-day correlation with the MSCI World essentially equities index reaching 0.6, approaching the highest level in 2 years, the analyst said. The firm essentially also reported significant activity in derivatives markets, with volatility expected to increase in the Trump and Harris debate, which begins at essentially 2 a.m. UK time. We saw significant buyings in Bitcoin options expiring on September 11th, with 400 contracts at $57,500, suggesting a price movement of more than 3.3% from the current point around $56,800 by tomorrow's expiration. The analyst added, Harris's comments during the debate will be closely watched by market participants looking to gain insight into economic policies, according to reports by QCP Capital. The markets will closely watching Kamala's policy cues for the first debate, especially in contrast to Trump's clear stance on lowering corporate tax, raising tariffs, both which are seen inflationary, they wrote. While she is also seen in line with Trump due to a strong support for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, QCB Capital hinted that the real surprise could come from Kamala Harris herself if she mentions crypto positively during her campaign. If Kamala Harris mentions crypto positively during her campaign, it's only because she's doing the votes. She's not pro-crypto. Kamala Harris is the same person that tried to veto crypto policies coming out of the US House. So being pro-crypto is a bit of an overreach. Despite the current uncertainties, QCP Capital remains optimistic about the fourth quarter and maintains a structural bullish outlook. So that's one of the main reasons why the market space is a bit volatile and stifled today. We're going to be finding out in about an hour and 20 minutes regarding the debates of which way the market's going to play out. PayPal, Venmo embraces Ethereum name services is what we're going to be moving on to. Moving on from the Trump and Kamala debate, which, if they do talk about crypto, it's going to be a very positive sentiment for the crypto space. Obviously, projects are not going to be shooting to the moon if Trump says something positive, if he talks about crypto, or if Kamala speaks about crypto. Crypto projects are not going to be shooting towards the moon. However, if they talk negative about crypto projects, we will be seeing a downtrend. Not a drastic downtrend, but we'll definitely see a downtrend. But before we go through that news, let's start the comment section first. Good night. That means that Revolut will be more transparent with the government. Yep, that's exactly what it means. Good night, Miles. And also CMF, thank you. It will be fun. It will be, believe me. Let's go. JP, see you tomorrow about the same time as usual. When do you see the true implementation of ACH actually happening? And do you think it will ever at all? I do, but regulations need to be there first. It's all BS. They are not neck and neck. I just hope Trump sticks to the policies and what the Dems are not doing, instead of just saying she's useless. He needs to stick to the facts for this debate, or it could be his name calling will not get him anywhere, which is facts. Regarding what is a QFS account? Do I need one, and how do I set one up if I do? No. Okay, if anybody inside the crypto space is trying to tell you you need a QFS wallet, they are either not you, John, you're not this person, but somebody I'm guessing has told you you need a QFS account. So if anybody inside the crypto space is telling you you need a QFS wallet, they are either a moron or a scammer. So if somebody's telling you you need a QFS wallet, there is no such thing as a QFS wallet. They are either a moron or a scammer. So stay away from anybody that's telling you that. And regarding what Shelley said, Trump needs to stick to these policies and factual information, which I agree with 100%. What's interesting is that this debate has a few regulations, a few rules, let's say. This debate with Trump versus Kamala, they're not allowed to essentially have notes. So they can't have notes in any sort of a way. So if Trump asks, a question from Kamala, Kamala can't use her notes to answer back. And the other way around as well. Kamala asks a question to Trump. Trump can't use his notes because no notes are allowed. Another thing is not allowed is to speak over someone. So if Trump is speaking, Kamala's mic will be muted. If Kamala is speaking, Trump's mic will be muted, which I think is excellent, because Kamala would have probably used some sort of a tactic, because she would probably say something and then Trump will try to debate her on it and cut her off, which then Kamala will be ending up saying something on the lines of "I'm speaking" and so on, and people will see that as rude and so on and so on. So I think this is perfect, because the questions will be very clear, the answers should be very clear, and nobody can talk over another person, which is perfect. Because this is where we're going to see one particular candidate struggle to answer questions. Now, the questions that she's going to be asked directly, she will probably be able to answer them. But whenever Trump asks Kamala something specific, is when we're going to be seeing Kamala struggle to answer those questions. So this is going to be perfect, because nobody can talk over somebody. The mic's on mute. Nobody has notes, so it's off the top of your head. And we've all seen how Kamala talks with no notes. If you haven't, she tried to explain cloud storage, and she said the files you have in your cabinet are now in the sky, and it's all in the sky, is how she explained cloud storage. When she was asked the question of, the border control, in terms of immigration, she said, yes, the borders, we have them under control. And the guy said, have you been to the borders? And she said, yes. And he said, no, have you been to the borders? And she said, well, I've never been to Fiji, I think it was, or whatever. What's your point? Is what she said. There's no relevance to the question that was asked and what the answer she's given. She's an absolute moron. But and the topic of, she was asked once, this inflation situation that's going on. What's your response to inflation, Kamala Harris? And she said, well, families' prices are high, and families can't afford groceries and, be able to pay bills, and, you can't afford, and prices are high. How's that an answer for how you're going to solve inflation? So this is going to be perfect. No notes is going to be perfect. This is where we see Kamala's brain IQ level, and essentially not being able to speak on top of each other is also perfect, because the awkward silence is going to be absolutely perfect as well. There's going to be a lot of awkward silence from one particular candidate, and one particular candidate is going to struggle to answer questions, and we all know who that is. Because she can't explain cloud storage, she can't explain inflation, and she can't explain the border control either. So this is going to be interesting. Love him or hate him, Trump is what America and the world needs right now. I'm not saying he's the answer long term, but in short term, I think he's the best person for the job. Yes, definitely Joe Zampa. John, no problem anytime. Do not go near them wallets. Yeah, facts. Trump never had notes. The only people had them was the other side, which is facts. Because the other side is always told what to say. Just like the last debate, muted mics, which is perfect. I'm concerned for Trump in this debate. I wish he wasn't. I'm concerned for Trump in this debate. I wish he wasn't doing it. I just hope he's specific and doesn't talk in riddles. He didn't really do well against Biden. Just Biden did very poorly. I just really hope he does well and doesn't stuff this up. Yeah, I think what Trump is going to do, Trump's tactic normally is to break down the other person. So the debate, for example, it was quite difficult to break down Biden because Biden's not all there. But Trump versus, for example, Hillary Clinton. Trump embarrassed Hillary Clinton when Hillary Clinton said essentially that, Trump doesn't pay his taxes. And Trump instantly said, of course I don't, because of your policies. So he knows how to break down a person. If somebody tries to debate Trump, he knows how to break down a person because he knows who that person is. See, a corrupt person will understand another corrupt person. It's just how it works in terms of politics. But one person is better than the other. Is what I would say. He knows how to break down someone. Because the Hillary Clinton debate didn't go too well for Hillary Clinton. He just let it all out. He knew her entire history. He knew how corrupt she was, and he laid it all out. Biden's debate was a bit difficult because Biden's not all there. So you can't break down someone who can't spell their name. That was a bit of a different situation. It's quite difficult to debate Biden because you need to be, that person needs to be there for you to be able to debate him. Biden was in La La Land while standing on stage. She once said, she's been a debater though, so I don't know. I just pray he dominates her. She once said not only housing prices has gone up, the down payment in order to buy a house has gone up. Well, of course. He is good at thinking quickly on his feet, although that's so good. Yeah, that is good, definitely. The media will scrutinize him regardless of how he performs. Facts, what Shelley has said, absolutely facts. The media will always scrutinize Trump no matter what he says. If it's good or bad or slips up, the media will always haggle him. If Kamala loses, for example, if Kamala loses this debate, then media will say, Kamala won this debate, Trump didn't know how to compete with her, and so on. I can already picture. Same with the Biden speech. I mean, the news said, even influencers that are being paid off by the Biden committee, which is pathetic. But there's a lot of influencers being paid off by Biden's committee that was saying positive things about Joe Biden, saying, this man won against Trump. The debate was easily won by Joe Biden. And in reality, it never was. It was not by a mile Trump won that debate. But the news will always try to, regardless of how the outcome is going to be, will always be in favor of Biden or Kamala or the other party in general. So regarding the media will scrutinize him regardless of how he performs, facts. Absolutely facts, what Shelley has just said. I think they're going to sneak a mic and or somehow so she can get fed answers. Sorry if somebody already said that. I just joined back. No, you're actually the first person that said that. Fake news. Yep. Good morning, Miles CMF. Ghost Runner, good to see you as well. How you doing? Morning. How you been? And CMF, let's go. Now, moving on from Trump debate and Kamala Harris debate, which is going to be happening in about an hour and 9 minutes. 2, I hope you're doing excellent as well, Ghost Runner. I hope you're doing a lot better. So, PayPal and Venmo embrace Ethereum name services, ENS, for crypto payments. The US payment processor PayPal and Venmo has essentially integrated support for Ethereum name services, allowing users to send cryptocurrency payments to ENS usernames. According to ENS Labs press release, the new feature streamlines the management of wallet addresses and minimizes the potential for mistakes, as stated by the companies. ENS integration simplifies crypto payments on PayPal and Venmo. The feature, available initially for US users, will simplify how users interact with crypto on these platforms. Previously, users have to input long wallet addresses manually or scan QR codes, creating a friction and increasing the risk of sending funds to the incorrect person. With ENS, users can enter an ENS name directly into PayPal or Venmo to automatically retrieve and verify the associated wallet addresses. The executive director of Ethereum Name Services Labs essentially expressed enthusiasm about integrating ENS naming capabilities with Venmo and PayPal. Naming essentially with PayPal Web, reaching millions of users. He emphasized that as digital assets gain mainstream acceptance, their aim is to make managing these assets both intuitive and user-friendly. bridging Web 2 and Web 3 for smoother crypto adoption. ENS has been actively enhancing the usability of its domain names. In February, the company announced a partnership with web domain registrar GoDaddy. This collaboration enables individuals to link their .com web addresses to their ENS names. .eth with correspondence to Ethereum wallet address. The recent integration with Ethereum name services is a part of PayPal and Venmo's continuous efforts to broaden their footpath in the cryptocurrency market space. Earlier in the year, PayPal enhanced its crypto services by integrating with MoonPay, which allows users to pay cryptocurrencies using debit and credit cards. Additionally, PayPal launched its PYUSD stablecoin on Venmo, facilitating the transfer of stablecoins between two platforms. Also, recently, PayPal revealed its plans to provide interest rewards on PYUSD holders, this initiative aims to boost the adoption of PYUSD, which has seen a very sluggish market uptake since its launch. Now, Marta, the director of business developments at ENS Labs, noted that collaborating with PayPal and Venmo helps them to connect with newcomers to the cryptocurrency space, and those who are essentially accustomed to Web 2 payment platforms. She emphasized that by integrating ENS with familiar and trusted platforms, they are simplifying the process for users to manage and understand their cryptocurrencies, which is facts. Okay, regarding ENS, right now, ENS might not do excellent. In terms of being inside the crypto space, it might not do excellent. However, as time progresses and more people and more companies join the crypto space, platforms like ENS will do incredibly well over time. Because one major issue with the crypto space that a lot of people find difficult when you're new inside the crypto space is getting the wallet addresses correct. A lot of people are scared inside the crypto space, believe it or not, to send transactions because they're scared they might send it to the wrong address or they don't know how to do it correctly. Which is why I always say, whenever you want to send a payment to anyone, even to your own wallet, double check the address and send a small payment first. If the small payment reaches, then send a larger payment. It's a very safe mechanism for yourself. But regarding platforms like ENS that make life simpler by giving you a name, for example, which you can then send your payments easier without typing in the wallet address, which means you'll never get it wrong. You'll never send it to the wrong address. So platforms like ENS over time will definitely grow in value. Genuinely, over time, not overnight, but over time, the more people that join the crypto space from the corporate section or the retail section, the more this grows, platforms like ENS will grow in value. Now, Tonchain. Tonchain is doing incredible movements. For a while now, Tonchain has been doing incredible movements in terms of integrating things into their ecosystem. And, regarding Telegram becoming an everything app, which I've been revealing step by step of how they're doing it in terms of businesses nearby, when you can order food sitting in a restaurant on your Telegram app and pay in crypto or pay in fiat is what's going to be happening on Telegram. Or in terms of Telegram creating this mini app store, like a Google Play Store or an app store like iPhone App Store on Telegram, where a lot of platforms like Binance, OKX Exchange, HTX Exchange, which I revealed yesterday, you can now very soon do trading, crypto trading on Telegram. So Telegram is expanding quite a lot. I mean, a rapid rate. And now they've introduced also something interesting as well. Tonchain introduces Ghost Drive for secure Web3 data storage. Tonchain has introduced Ghost Drive, an initiative Web3 storage solution rapidly gaining traction with over 740,000 users. Allows users to upload, store, and share data seamlessly. Ghost Drive is integrated as a Telegram mini app and is powered by the Ton blockchain, ensuring that all data is decentralized, secure, and completely under user control. But what makes Ghost Drive different from any other data storage solution inside the crypto space? What sets Ghost Drive apart from traditional cloud storage platforms is its unique approach to data monetization. Data monetization. Users have the opportunity to earn rewards by monetizing their data through their pay-per-view models, streaming, or ad networks. A very long time ago, I revealed that Telegram is aiming to become an everything app, but they're also going to be introducing a creators area. So Telegram, sooner or later, being an everything app, is also going to have capabilities like TikTok, capabilities like YouTube are going to be happening on Telegram, where creators, for example, can create content and post them on Telegram and get paid per view. So those are things that are happening on Ton's ecosystem. Users have the opportunity to earn rewards by monetizing their data through pay-per-view streamings or ad networks on Telegram. By participating in the platform's mine feature, users can generate GD points, which can be redeemed for additional storage. Through this system, users can win up to 50 gigabytes of free storage, making the platform even more rewarding for active participants. Ghost Drive's blockchain foundation, coupled with its use of LEO satellite nodes, guarantees that user data is not only decentralized, but also shielded from censorship and third-party control. This robust infrastructure provides users with unparalleled security and privacy, ensuring that their data is managed entirely by them. Ghost Drive is more than just a storage platform. It's a decentralized ecosystem where users can take full ownership of their data and earn rewards and benefit from integrating the user-centric data management experience, which, unreal. Absolutely unreal. Genuinely. What Telegram with Ton is achieving is incredible. Obviously, the whole France situation needs to, slowly drift away and die out, which it will probably eventually, unless it gets escalated. But, on the sidelines, Telegram and with Ton's ecosystem, they'll keep on bringing new features back to back, lots of new initiatives, Web3 initiatives, monetizations. I mean, nearby business feature, trading on Telegram. Crazy. I mean, Telegram is just taking everything to a whole nother level. Looks like Telegram is becoming what Elon Musk wanted for X, by the looks of it. Telegram is doing incredibly well at a very fast rate. Now, Standard Chartered launches is what we're going to move on to next. Moving on from the Telegram news and Ton ecosystem news, going to Standard Chartered Bank news. Standard Chartered Bank launches digital asset custody in UAE. In the past few years, dozens of traditional banks have explored the potential of blockchain-based currencies, specifying the UAE and Hong Kong are among the fastest evolving regions for digital currencies. According to an announcement that came out today, Standard Chartered Bank, a leading bank, British bank, has started offering digital asset custody services inside the United Arab Emirates. Now, just to point out, Standard Chartered Bank is a partner of Metico Ripple. Metico is well famously known after being brought out by Ripple to be working on self-storage, high-grade wallets for institutions. And now Standard Chartered Bank is going to be offering these types of high storage security wallets as a service in the United Arab Emirates. Standard Chartered partnered with Breven Howard Digital to launch its digital asset custody services in the UAE. Market experts claim that the bank's move seems to be influenced by essentially surging popularity of cryptocurrencies globally, especially inside the United Arab Emirates. As per additional information, Breven Howard Digital is a subsidiary of Breven Howard hedge fund that essentially ignited this office in Abu Dhabi back in 2023. Other than banks, many other firms offering crypto-related services have also established their workplace in the UAE. The integration of blockchain into traditional finance systems has transferred the entire outlook of finance globally. Experts are aware of the facts that the step-by-step Standard Chartered will positively impact the regional finance system of the UAE, fostering growth in the total digital asset user base. Which, massive. Standard Chartered Bank is about to be offering incredible services inside the United Arab Emirates regarding the banking sector. Good night, everyone. The debate is going to start. Troy, see you tomorrow sometime as usual, everybody. See you tomorrow sometime as usual, brother. Moving on from the Standard Chartered Bank news to the second ever platform to get a green light from the SEC. The second US firm, T0, said to become a crypto broker dealer under the SEC oversight. The company expects to launch a wider crypto security services next year. It said joining controversial firm Prometheum as a potentially US compliant digital asset securities firm. Such a registration as a special purpose broker deal under the US Securities Exchange Commission oversight will allow the firm to take custody of customers and digital asset securities, though the ability bumps right into the industry's widespread legal battles with the SEC over the regulator's stance that most crypto tokens are securities. The SEC has greenlighted a platform called Prometheum a long time ago. Most of their members are SEC members, and any crypto project they list it as securities, which goes against the entire what the crypto system is all about. The crypto system has tried to fight that they're not securities. The SEC says, yes, you are securities. The SEC has greenlighted the only platform ever in history, which is named by Prometheum, which also has an entire list of multitude of SEC employees, and they list crypto projects under the category of securities on purpose. That was a little context. So T0 being the second platform. To take custody of crypto securities, T0 and Prometheum must treat tokens as securities, while the industry, including many issuers, are pushing back on that label. Our special purpose broker deal status will enable us to offer safe, secure, and regulated broker deal digital asset custody and other new initiative products for issuers, investors, and other market participants alike, said T0 David Goon in a statement. The company, backed by Overstock and New York Stock Exchange parent, said that as soon as early as next year, it will start opening services for assets, including private securities, scrutinized real estate, arts, and sport assets. It will also start the full digitalization of T0's Series A preferred equity security, T0 Rope, the company said. The firm had previously registered a trading platform known as an alternative trading system, ATS. So the addition of the new license will allow custody clearance and settlement under one umbrella, it said. An SEC spokesperson declined comments on essentially or confirm T0's new status. As of press time, the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority had updated its broker check service, acknowledging T0's approval, so the distinctions between Prometheum and T0 in their licensing remains unclear. Earlier findings did confirm that T0 can conduct private placements of securities and facilitate digital asset securities tradings on its ATS. This is not great in any sort of a way regarding T0 listing crypto assets on purpose next year as securities. But again, this is a platform that's been greenlighted by the SEC, so we can't expect more from a platform that's been greenlighted by the SEC, and they're listing crypto projects on purpose under the category of securities, while other platforms are listing them as basically commodities or assets. Now, moving on from T0, that's about to be launching next year or could be launching towards the end of the year, to, which is also going to be very difficult on the ongoing pending lawsuits that are going on, where this platform is claiming to be listing crypto project securities. And on the other side, you have platforms like Binance, Crypto.com, Kraken, Coinbase saying they're not listing securities. Let's see how that will play out with the Gary Gensler manipulator using that probably in some part of his case. Ironically, they're the only platforms greenlighted by the SEC. Now, moving on from Gary Gensler's manipulation sector with greenlighting two platforms that list only security crypto projects, to Ripple news. Good night, Miles, and the rest of the CMF family, as I have really stopped tomorrow. No problem. Funky brother, see you tomorrow sometime as usual. Ripple CTO. Ripple CTO shares insights into XRP's ledger functionality. So here are the details. In a recent interaction on X, Ripple CTO David Schwartz shed some light on the current capabilities of the XRP ledger. The conversation began when an X user asked the Ripple CTO if he could provide an extensive list of the XRP ledger's native smart contract capabilities. David Schwartz replied that the XRP ledger does not currently support native smart contracts functionalities, highlighting the XRP ledger as a fixed function ledger instead. There are none today, he said. Today, the XRP ledger is a fixed function ledger, the Ripple CTO responded. XRP ledger was initially designed with a focus on speed, efficiency, and low-cost transactions, making it particularly well suited for payments and currency exchange. The XRP ledger's design prioritizes performance and reliability, but it comes at the expense of a broader programmability, such as the execution of complex smart contracts. While broader programmability is currently lacking on the XRP ledger, features such as escrows, NFTs, authorized trust lines provide essentially payment channels, and the DEX plus the AMM provide a common set of primitives serving a variety of use cases on the XRP ledger. New programmability to arrive on the XRP ledger. While XRP Ledger does not currently support native smart contracts, Ripple is currently exploring ways to enhance the ledger's functionality in this area. So this is what's going to be happening starting 2025. According to a recent announcement, Ripple and the broader XRP Ledger community are committed to introducing advanced programmabilities, including smart contracts, to the XRP Ledger developer ecosystem in 2025. XRP Ledger's programmability will improve as a result of two key developments: the introduction of native smart contracts capabilities on the XRP Ledger mainnet, which is currently in the research phase, and the XRP Ledger EVM sidechain, which is expected to go live in the coming months. Existing smart contract standards, such as hooks from the XRP Labs, will lay an important foundation that can be counted on to enhance mainnet capabilities if needed. So, starting 2025 is when we're going to be seeing quite a lot of essentially new services being provided on the XRP Ledger starting 2025. But in the coming months, we are going to get green lighted also on the XRP Ledger EVM sidechain, mostly because the token is going to be coming out as well, the RLUSD. So new features are headed towards the XRP Ledger starting 2025. But there are also new features coming out this year as well. We have updates coming on the XRP Ledger this year. We have the Ripple stablecoin coming out this year, the sidechain happening this year, and there's a few other new features coming out this year as well. But in other words, a lot of new features are going to be coming out 2025 is what the deadline's been posted as. So we have also reached the endings of tonight's live show as well. If you enjoyed this live show, drop a follow, drop a like, and tune into it every single time. This is called the CMF Live Show, stands for Crypto Mouse Family. And on this live show, I talk about the most recent things that's happening around the world in terms of cryptocurrency, CBDCs, AI, politics, regulations. We went through topics like David Schwartz and the XRP Ledger updates heading our way. A lot of updates heading our way in 2025. We talked about essentially the T0, the second firm to be greenlighted by the SEC, listing crypto projects on purpose as securities. We talked about Standard Chartered Bank essentially opening their doors to digital asset custody services in the UAE, who's also a Ripple partner through Metico. We talked about Tonchain introducing self-storage and wallet self-storage for monetization purposes, creator purposes, and communities and developers purposes, which is amazing news coming out of Ton's ecosystem. We talked about ENS service provider partnering up with PayPal and Venmo, which is quite incredible as well. We talked about an analyst's perspective on what the debate could be about regarding Trump and Kamala and how things can play out. We talked about John Deaton versus Elizabeth Warren, Senator Elizabeth Warren, which is going to be happening very soon as well. We talked about essentially Gary Gensler's leaked memo, which hasn't been confirmed for the time being, but we'll wait for the confirmation. But I still share the news with everyone. We talked about Sony Bank and Sonium developing a yen-backed stablecoin on tonight's live show. We talked about Tether and Tron coming together to combat financial crimes. We also went through news topics on Chris Bernstein, the venture capitalist, sharing his point of views on the crypto market space. We also talked about the market data points regarding the labor market data that's going to be coming out within 24 hours. Within 24 hours, we're going to get new data coming out on the labor market space, which the crypto market and the stock market are going to react to. We talked about State Street Global Advisors introducing 3 new ETFs, which are crypto related because they're essentially related to crypto platforms, not the crypto assets themselves, but it shows confidence towards Wall Street, confidence towards crypto assets. We also went through news topics on regarding the S&P 500 correlation between the crypto space so far and the data points on the Fed. We went through quite a lot of data, quite a lot of news on tonight's live show. We also did quite a lot of Q&As as well, which I always love doing Q&As. And the Trump versus Kamala debate is coming up tonight as well in about, if I'm not mistaken, let me just see what time it is. Kamala and Trump debate. Let's just see. Kamala and Trump. Debate time is what time is Kamala and Trump debate? 9 minutes ago. 9 p.m. Eastern time is going to be around 2 a.m. UK time. Yeah, so the debate is going to be around 2 a.m. UK time. So in about 48 minutes, in about 47 minutes, we're going to be having the debate of Trump versus Kamala. Thank you, Miles and CMF. Mike, no problem. See you both tomorrow, same time as usual. Thanks so much, Miles. Stormy, let's go. See you tomorrow, same time as usual as well. Good night, Miles and CMF. Thanks, Miles, for a great live. Free forever. See you tomorrow, same time as usual as well. In 47 minutes. That's correct. Joe, see you tomorrow, same time as usual. Night, Miles. Pablo, see you tomorrow, same time as usual as well. Thanks, Miles. It's televised here from 11, so that's 45 minutes for me. Let's go. Shelly, no problem. And see you tomorrow, sometimes usual as well. I will see everybody tomorrow, same timing as usual. Bring live as usual. Let's go, Joe. I'll see everybody tomorrow, same timing as usual. Everybody have a great day or a good night, depending on where you are around the world. CMF, see you all tomorrow. And if you haven't followed, and you've watched this for the first time ever, this live show, subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, follow if you're watching on X, drop a follow, drop a like, drop a comment on both platforms, X and YouTube. We're live on both of them. You can tune in tomorrow at around 11:25 p.m. or 11:30 p.m. UK time for episode 153 of the CMF live show. This is episode 152. Every night you can tune into this live show and get involved inside the comment section as well. Please share the live. Great job, Miles. Let's go. Have a good day and night. All go Team Trump. Let's go, Shelly. See you tomorrow, sometimes usual. Thanks, Miles. I am Box 2. Go Spawner. I'll check out the message. Respawn after the show ends. Let's go. Get some rest, Miles. Let's go, Scott. I will see everybody tomorrow, same timing as usual. Everybody have a great day or a good night, depending on where you're around the world. CMF, see you tomorrow, same time as usual.